Hi hustlers, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, I'm Candy, one half of Kandy and Kelly, and we are trying to break free from the 9 to 5, build a self-sufficient lifestyle and essentially a homestead from scratch. Now, for those of you that followed along for a little while, we've kind of done the whole camper van life thing. Wasn't sustainable for us in the long term, but 100% fallen in love with van life. We've also purchased this property that I'm in now at auction, and we are 42 and mortgage free, so we purchased this house outright. Currently living off savings and also renovating with some of the savings that we had from the sale of our previous house. Now the savings are really going down, and now it's about kind of building a frugal lifestyle with old style living, preparedness, self-sufficiency, being frugal, on a budget, that type of thing. Thanks for all the amazing comments on my last video where I was sharing quite raw, I guess, and quite honest feelings and thoughts that I have personally about breaking free from the 9 to 5. Now I know I just said that we're attempting to break free. Well, essentially on paper we have broken free from the 9 to 5. I'm currently not in a full-time job or anything like that. We've got no active income at this present time, so that's why I've got a little bit of nervousness. But essentially what we want to do is go through this life and just be. We want to be more kind of out in with nature and the outdoors and taking time for ourselves. I know that sounds really selfish, and there's probably a lot of you people that are watching thinking, just go and get a job, don't be lazy. And I can see it from your point of view, and I think if I was still so far into the system as I was even as little as 12 months ago, 18 months ago, I would have probably had the similar thoughts as that. But we've really been exploring not only what we want out of life and why we want to do this, but also different alternative lifestyles. We didn't just settle on this, what we're doing now, immediately. So we had thoughts, as you know. We had Vera, our camper van, who unfortunately, for those of you that are new here, we don't have Vera anymore. We had a VW Crafter camper van that we loved, we kitted out. But essentially, we were going through that journey of starting to do the travelling. We had it exactly how we wanted it, and then we just thought, for us, our feelings is that we need a base, and it wasn't sustainable. Although it was fantastic fun, and it is definitely giving us a glimpse into van life. So we had the van life thing. We kind of looked into living on a canal boat. We just want to do something really different. And we started viewing a few properties at auction. We've never bought a house at auction before. We started looking at a few. We're currently in Lincolnshire. We've fallen in love with this area. It's very rural compared to what we're used to. The people are lovely, friendly. It's a little bit windy, I'm not gonna lie. We're in our property's like in a bit of a wind tunnel, so later down the line we're going to be getting a front fence and bits and bobs put up. It's quite open at the moment. I know a fence is not going to stop all the wind, but it might be a little bit of a barrier. But at the moment it's like a heat wave. So we just want to live alternatively, and I guess breaking free from the system is not just, look, I'm not going to lie, there are parts of the system that I still love. I'm not going to stand here and be an absolute hypocrite and preach grow your own, do this, we're going vegan, we're only making our own goat's cheddar tarts and all that type of thing, we're going to get cows and milk them and have milk. No, look, we can do it to a certain level that one, we have the skills for, two, we have the budget, three, quite frankly, the inclination. So we just, I guess the initial thing is we wanted more freedom and autonomy around what our life consisted of. And you know, there are still parts, I'm quite new to this journey, and I mentioned last week that I gave up a really good job. I loved my job. Towards the end, not so much, but that's another story. But I was just tired. I was absolutely exhausted. I was disillusioned with the system, shall we say. I'm not going to say I'm a conspiracist, conspiracist, is that it? Conspiracy theorist. But I am really interested in, and Kel especially, she's literally all over this, and we spend a lot of time, like, we like listening to different YouTube channels and podcasts, and Kel especially is all up on the kind of economic podcasts and kind of history, that how it repeats itself, and the end of the fiat system and the money system and digital currency and social credit scores. That's really intriguing to us, and it's actually quite scary. So, you know, I was putting my life and soul into something that was literally draining me. I was at the company for 25 years. I want to be quite clear, it wasn't the company as such that was draining me, it was just the lifestyle that comes with being a kind of in a senior leader management role, having lots of people to care for. And 25 years, you know, I gave it a good bash. This is not just a phase. It wasn't an easy decision to get out of that. And it's been life-changing, but our life is still changing and evolving, and I will speak a lot more over the next few weeks in different videos. And one video I do want to share with you that I'm starting to put together is everything that personally Kel and I have achieved in the last 12 months since we broke free from the 9 to 5. So there's a lot of positive stuff there, and even though it's hard, and actually this was something that I've realised over the last 12 months, and I know it sounds a bit wanky, but I'd had 16 therapy sessions, so I had a good course of therapy just to understand where my head was at. You know, everything that I knew, it just was different to me in my brain. Like, I'd grown up a certain way, I'd lived a certain way, I'd worked a certain way since I was 16, 17, but it seemed to me like it was overnight that it just changed. The feeling that I got from it, I wasn't getting any kind of enjoyment from it. I wasn't feeling well in myself, mentally and physically. You know, I wasn't sleeping, I was exhausted all the time, I was drained, I was irritable. Not only that, my blood pressure was through the roof, my weight was increasing, I was drinking a lot more. And there comes a point where you think, this isn't me. And I know that people do that for their whole lives. I don't want to be one of those people, but shout out to those of you that can crack on. And I wasn't good at self-managing my work-life balance, let's put it that way. And maybe that is all on me, I don't know, but it just wasn't working where I was at that time. So we made this huge change, and it is not going to be boom, we're out the system, an overnight fix. We're just starting out essentially. So we got the keys to this property in February, and you've got to remember, before that we did a lot of, you'll see on the channel that if you go back quite to the beginning, it started off as like, what are we doing? We want to do some van trips, and we started doing all that. We had some amazing trips planned, and then Kelly's mental health took a really bad turn, and again, it was just showing us, it was just constant go, 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 go. Even though the work wasn't there, like the physical 9 to 5 job in an office, that was taken away. But everything else that came with that, it was like different feelings that I had anyway. So I can't speak for Kel, but for me, I had guilt, you know, letting people down. What are people going to think of me? What is my life going to be? What am I doing to myself? I had all those negative feelings, but what I was trying to say is, what I discussed with my therapist is that, and I've read up a lot on this recently as well, in more detail, negative feelings and anxiety and dread and being scared, being out your comfort zone essentially, they are not bad feelings. They help you grow as a person, and I'm not preaching now, I'm just saying from my perspective, okay? Everyone's different. And I still do have quite a lot of those feelings, and I still do think sometimes, like, I could be standing in the garden, you've just seen me, that is another story, that's going to take ages to get done. Just standing out there, and like, you can hear all the different birds, you've got deers walking past, you've got kind of foxes running in the middle of the day, like, it is a completely different world. And I just, like, you just stand there and think, what the hell am I doing? Like, where am I going with life? But I have all those feelings, but I also have the bigger push that is kind of right, it's in my heart and soul that this is the right thing for me to be doing right now. It's putting me out of my comfort zone. It's making me grow as a person. It's making me appreciate the little things, right? We've just come off the back of living in a van for about, I think with my van and then my dad's van, Bunty, that we moved into full time, about 10, 12 weeks that we've been living in a van, and we're just settling into the house. So everything's been go, go, go. And now we're really starting to live. Kelly and I were chatting earlier, actually. I said that I was going to come on and chat to you guys. I'm really using this as like a therapy for me, so I'm sorry if I overshare. But we were saying that, you know, we are essentially, we've just flipped our life upside down. We went straight out of work. I was unwell at the time. Kelly was unwell at the time. Straight into getting a van. Never had a van before. Having to learn all that. Like, you don't have time to sit with your feelings. Straight moving, sold a house that we loved. Moved into my parents'. We've got our 2 cats as well. And by the way, those of you that have been following the channel, the cats are in. They're really settled. We've had the electrician in a couple of days this week, so they've still been a bit scared, but they're really settling in. They're getting to know their new house, and they're loving being back with their mummies. So they're all good. So we had all that. Then you just feel this great pressure. Right, I've bought a van, and everyone's like, you bought a van, wow, that's amazing, wish we could go on trips like this, I love the van, and then you feel like I felt like this really big pressure that I've got to enjoy the van. I've got to enjoy it now because I don't have that job. That was my identity. And Ken and I were saying that, you know, we've sort of lost our identity a little bit in this process because we're not actually doing anything that's us right now. We are just pushing forward to get into the house, get the renovations done. We had the burst water pipe, we were selling Vera, we had all that to deal with. We was in my dad's motorhome. Even now we're still like, well, you can probably see we've got boxes. This is like our prepper pantry, which is actually, I say prepper pantry because it sounds quite cool, but it's because we haven't got kitchen units, so it's just everything's up on there, which is perfectly functional and actually works well, and it's just like we're so spoiled. But we were saying that my grandma, I mentioned in the last video, who was kind of the catalyst for all of this, really, for me anyway, but I've dealt with a lot of grief, find it hard to talk about actually, so I'm not going to talk about it in too much depth, and that was a couple of years ago, and I still feel I haven't dealt with it at all. And yeah, I haven't dealt with it at all, so I'm not going to go into that. But my gran, she had this saying that she always used to say, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And that's essentially what we're doing. We're not having any days off, we're just pushing through. And you know, we're a very open couple. We speak quite openly to each other, we speak a lot, and we said, you know, we need some downtime. But then for me, I get that guilt that I'm not working a 9 to 5, so why should I have downtime? And I've been pushing myself and I'm exhausted. So this weekend, Glastonbury's on, so you'll know now that you've all caught up and we're pretty much in real time. Glastonbury's on this weekend. I'm going to cook a lovely curry tonight. We're going to have a few drinks and we're going to watch Glastonbury. And that's something that we always used to do, and that feels like we're getting back to us. But I still miss things from the trappings of the system and the 9 to 5. I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to work through those. They're not enough to make me question what I'm doing. They're not enough to make me think I don't want to be doing this, I'm scared. I love what I'm doing. It's just, it's not an easy way out, let me put it that way. But, and a big but, if we can do it and fulfill our dream of living on a homestead and creating it from scratch and doing things differently, living alternatively and working on our own schedule, guys, any of you hustlers out there can do it. Trust me, I know everyone has different circumstances, but if you really want to make a change, you will. And it just takes that big jump. Once you've made that change, that's half the battle, even more than half the battle. Once you've changed that mindset. Right, so some of the things, I guess, like obviously, and I'm talking first world problems, like we're very privileged, we've lived an amazing life. I sound like I'm doing an obituary. We're still living an amazing life, but in terms of materialistic things, which the trappings of the system bring, it's like we're exhausted now. We're coming up to a time where we normally have like a summer holiday abroad or something like that, and you've got people in the family that are booking their holidays and they're jetting off, and there is a little bit at the back of my head, and I'm like, you know, don't get me wrong, if we really stretched ourselves, we probably could afford a little holiday abroad somewhere, but we don't want that. We need to just relax. The other thing that I really do miss is, and Kel, no disrespect, but I miss a bit of banter, you know. I'm quite a sociable person. I love a laugh and a joke, and we've just not been in that place recently. We're getting there. We are working on it, and we are getting there, but I miss a bit of banter. So this helps me actually, because I can have a good old chat with you guys. I can go through your comments, I can read them, can have a bit of a laugh, a bit of a joke. And I guess the major thing that is at the back of my mind is that I don't have a good salary coming in on a certain date every month, which was always, right, we know we've got that coming, so we can spend that, and we've got that bit coming in. We don't have regular stuff coming in now, so that's obviously, I say concern, I'm not majorly concerned. I know that worst case scenario, if we couldn't afford to pay our bills, I could go and get a job. We're not there yet. I don't want to go and get a 9-to-5 or a job like that. That's why we moved away. If I wanted to do that and it was just my job that was causing me the problem, then I would have just moved to another job in London, doing the same thing that I was doing. It isn't that. It's much deeper than that. It's about exploring what we want out of life, kind of looking deep into your soul. And I know I sound really preachy now, but I don't mean to sound like this. It's just, I feel like I'm really learning about who I am. I'm so different. I like to take time in the morning. I like to stand outside with a cup of tea. I like to sit with my feelings and toss them around in my head and think, why am I feeling this? Why am I feeling that? And I know on the last video I said, like, I'm a bit worried, like, what are people going to think? I do still think that, don't get me wrong. However, you only get one life, and this is exactly what we want to do. And so there, like, when I say we want to escape the system, escape the matrix, like, yeah, that's 100% what we'd love to do. We can't do that. We're trying to put things in place that we can have less contact with the system, and we can do our own thing, and we can maybe start our own business, doing some bits which we're exploring in the background, really, that when that does come to fruition, I'm sure that I'll share. There's nothing set in stone there. That's just conversations we're having at the moment. But yeah, it's tough, but good tough, if you know what I mean. So breaking free from the 9-to-5, like I said at the beginning, I'm not going to be a hypocrite, right? One of the happiest things that has happened this week is that we've got our internet Wi-Fi. Instead of having to hotspot from our phones onto every device when it takes ages, we've got Wi-Fi. Like, we literally got it in the last 2 days. So we actually set it up yesterday. So now we can, you know, like streaming. I have literally tried to avoid any conversations about Handmaid's Tale, The Last of Us, because I've been waiting for my moment that I can sit on my sofa and I can sit and watch those. I love a beer every now and then. I still love a drink, you know what I mean? I still love to go out for days and stuff like that, and we are going to start doing that. But it has to be on a budget now, because we've made this choice. We can't have our cake and eat it. We can't profess to want this out of life and then still want to go on the long haul holidays, still go out to the pub every night, still go and get takeaways, still go out for dinner. Excuse the doorbell there, I think Kel's going to get that. So we've got all this stuff going on, and basically we are getting to the point now where it's getting real. It's getting real, guys. So we're not, well, we're still, we're in a renovation project, right? But we're in the house so we can live. So we've been camping essentially for 3 months. So we're now definitely a step above that. And it's just about learning what we do going forward. I want to start sharing all the stuff, like what I'm cooking, like shopping budgets, shopping hauls. We're really into prepping and preparedness. And the massive project which you're going to see over the next 12 months is to be getting that garden prepped and ready to go to start growing our own. And we are not complete novices. You might think we are, but we're not complete novices when it comes to growing our own. So we had a decent sized garden at our last place, nothing on this scale, and it was just a normal garden, but it was a decent size, and we grew quite a lot of our own stuff. We kind of did beetroot, carrots, onions, potatoes, we tried garlic, peppers, spinach, salad leaves. We did all that and we absolutely loved it, and that sort of I want to say that we've not kind of reached this decision about this sort of life just like that. We've wanted to do this for a long time, and this is essentially going to evolve into me kind of sharing, and Kel of course, sharing with you what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we're achieving it. We're going to be doing a lot about budget stuff, kind of how to cook on a budget, especially when we're growing our own stuff. I cannot wait to get stuck into all that. But I guess the main message here is that we're never going to completely escape the system, and quite frankly I don't think I want to completely escape the system. I still love all those bits that I just explained. I still do miss things about my old job, I still do miss things about my old life, but this is about building on that, building on the experience we've got and moving forward now with our new life. So I've shared a few things that I've missed. I don't want to come across as a hypocrite, which I said, so there are still things that we're going to be doing that you think, oh, you're escaping the system. That's not really escaping the system. No, we're not following a narrative of escaping the system. We're following our dreams of what we want to do, and that, however that may come across, it doesn't really matter, because it's us. Everyone has their own personal life and their own personal journey, and we're doing what feels right for us. And if people want to follow along, then that's absolutely fantastic. We're so happy to have you here. So the next video, I think I'd like to share all the stuff that we've achieved in the last 12 months, and I've spent some time actually thinking about this, and I've got quite a few notes written down. I really want to share all this with you because there's some amazing things that have come out of it. It's been stressful, we've had sleepless nights, we're both exhausted, you know what I mean? We've had a lot going on, and some things you think, why the hell are we doing this? You think that some days. However, when you look back at the bigger picture and not just like what happened yesterday and what's happening tomorrow, we have achieved so much, and I can't wait to start sharing all that and sharing how we did it and sharing tips. And I would love to hear from all of you. If you've got any comments about what we're doing, or if you want to kind of get involved, or if you want to just reach out and ask us any questions, feel free to hit the comments, and we appreciate all the love for this channel. And if you like what you're hearing today and on the last few videos, please do subscribe, because we've got so much stuff coming and we can't wait to share it all. So thank you again for stopping by. We're at Wild Heart Hustle. You can catch us on our Instagram page as well, and I will catch you on the next video. Thanks a lot guys, see you later hustlers.